Yeah! Welcome to 3 Conservative Gimps, where you get your daily dose of conservatism from sometimes 3 conservative gimps. Most of the times it's 2, and sometimes if Lloyd's still asleep, it's just me. So let's get this show on the road. We got some really good stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about gas stoves, pump trolls? No, Trump poles, and some other stuff. So, hey, let's welcome in my guest, the ever awake and the vivid consciousness of Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome, welcome.
Hi. Man, I don't know why I'm so tired today. I mean, I had a bad night's sleep because the youngest one, she's 18 weeks old now. She decided she apparently was cold last night, and so she slept on my neck and pushed me on, and so I barely had a pillow. And she laid there all night long, and kept me well,
kept
I
your
didn't
neck
sleep good.
Warm?
Yeah, she kept my neck warm, that's for sure. But it's like,
did she stick her cold nose in your ear?
Occasionally, yes. Oh my God, when she does that, it's like a.
Oh man.
Yeah, she's a little sweetheart though, compared to her brother, who's a pain in the lower posterior. But she's still little, and anyways, yeah. So I guess I just didn't sleep good last night, and
well, I have some good news. I've got my soundboard back, so I could. Well, the little stream deck is on a delay, but I could do that. Oh, and the cows. And I added a little goat.
Yep. I didn't hear that one. If you're using it, you've got to hit the A to check the A on
the A button.
The A button, oh. Yeah.
All right.
vMix. When you try it twice, and I
did.
You have to.
All right. Let me get down here. The goat, which should be like there it is. You are right. I got okay. Now I'm okay. I got everything lit up, and the cash register is. There we go. That might work. There we go. We got that working. Yeah, and
there's the drums.
And the goat is
going. Goat worked. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah, I forget it I'll sit there and go, why isn't that working? And then I went, oh yeah, I got to hit that A button.
Yep, that A button. Oh. Yep, and let me see
if I one of the quirks of vMix. So
I got Make sure the cow is moving. Yes, you can hear that.
Yep.
And okay, good. Great. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We've got Charles Galuski, or Galuski, wherever you're from, and Mike B, aka the Drone Ranger, Chris Wedgeworth.
Yep.
That's who we got in the crowd. And last night I had a nightmare. I was dreaming that my ex-boss from the old company was trying to apply for a job at where I work, and I was thinking,
no, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That would have been a nightmare, huh?
Oh, man. Oh, and then right after that, I had another dream that I was in the Philippines, and I was either checking into my room or leaving my room, and the key broke off in the lock. And oh man, I'm trying to get back into my room. I went to the desk and they gave me a whole bunch of keys, and they said, "Oh, just go in the room next door and you'll be able to get in." And it was just one of those crazy dreams where you're going through this maze to try to get to where you want to go.
That's what that never Irish whiskey does to you. Yeah. That's what that Irish whiskey does to you.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You might be right.
Yep. Yeah, because you were, getting somewhat
knocking back a few. Yep.
Yeah. You were definitely. Last 15 minutes was funny. I got to admit, Yes.
And we got Drone Rob. Welcome. Good to see you. All right, let's get this show going. So, I don't know how they could do this, but New York has put a ban on gas stoves in new houses. So, I mean, how can they do that unless they put regulations on the construction industry that you cannot put these in or put a gas line in? Or
yeah, they can do that. And that homes will be all electric. The problem is the power grid in New York isn't all that great a shape, and and natural gas isn't that big of a contributor to the carbon footprint. I don't know why they're going after the natural gas stuff, but it doesn't make any sense.
Fossil fuel.
Because it's a fossil fuel, but
it was never about natural gas. It's about petrol.
Yeah, and that's it. But if they keep this up, we're going to have a power grid system that looks like it does in New Delhi. Have you seen the way they have their
all those wires there? All over?
Oh yeah,
the Philippines is the same way. Go into Manila, and it looks like a spaghetti of wires all over.
Yeah, and people just they're fire hazards. They're going to have a grid like that, and coming into winter,
you got Uncle Bill.
Yeah, Charles says the propane burned in the house can cause mental illness. Apparently, that's what's going on with all the politicians in New York. Then they're using too much propane.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another way to control. I mean, just look at California and all their regulations in electric cars. They don't understand it. The pollution that is caused by making these batteries and just
right.
And what do they power the electric plants with there in New York?
Well, it's iridescent elephant, not elephant, but what's that horse with the unicorn fart?
Unicorn, yeah, unicorn fart. That's got to be it, because I know we've got our plants here are natural gas. Our electric plants here are natural gas, and now we have some hydroelectric plants too. But in our case, and because Oklahoma's got such an abundance of natural gas,
I wonder why that is.
Well, we got an abundance of oil too, so
yeah, that's true.
But it's just I think it was it T. Boone Pickens or I can't remember the other one of those millionaires invested heavily. He said he wanted everybody to invest in wind farms.
Right. Yeah, it was T. Boone Pickens.
Yeah, and then convert, and he also invested in natural gas because they could supplement with the natural gas plants, and he made some money off of that, but Oklahoma did not go wind farm crazy, not like Texas did. We're still, but yeah, that's what they're doing in New York, and I can tell you, I live in an all electric house, and if that system is not tuned perfectly, I can go through far more electric, which means I'm going through, the cost is not reasonable, comparative.
Mm-hmm.
Right now my heat pump system is needing some major work on it. I'm just holding off until here in the next month or so. I'll probably bring somebody out to work on it. And those things are only good for 10, 12 years at the most. They only have a 10-year warranty on them, you know? And, you know, it's the same with the stoves. I mean, I still haven't replaced my electric stove. I don't need it. It's just Judy and I can heat something up in the microwave. Go to the store and buy something and bring it home, microwave it. Or I got an electric skillet that I can fry a hamburger with. Or I've got a gas grill outside I can cook hamburgers with.
That's true.
You know, I have an electric oven I can bake with.
Oh, and you got a crock pot. You can make some slow cooked meals.
I got a one pot that does a pressure cooker and a crock pot and steamer and everything else. Pardon me. My warmed over pizza is suddenly decided. One of my meds ran out that helps control my system, and I go up to the VA on Tuesday and to get my new tooth.
Oh, wonderful!
I actually get all my new teeth. I'm getting an upper and lower, but I'm getting this one will be replaced for sure.
Oh, wonderful!
You know, it's my teeth are going to be like stars. You know, they come out at night.
Yeah.
But I will try to remember it. So tomorrow night's show should be the last one with the hillbilly look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of look like the old version of Bon Scott because he kind of had a missing tooth there.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he was in a bad motorcycle wreck and knocked out a bunch of teeth.
Yeah, I had a friend I was in the service with. He was a Arizona Department of Public Safety Highway Patrol officer, and he worked basically campuses and stuff for the state of Arizona because he couldn't really get out and do this. But he'd been in a car wreck. I had no clue, but we'd been friends for 3 or 4 years, you know, and I had no clue. I'd worked with him numerous times when I was in the service because of what my job was. And we went out one night, and I had to get up. We always made a point when we'd go out drinking, we'd always stop off at Denny's and get a breakfast, and, you know, steak and eggs is what I usually got. You know, and so one night I said, "Here, would you keep an eye on my plate? I got to run to the bathroom." And he says, "Sure." And he reaches over and goes and sets it right on my plate. I said, "Okay." And then he said something, and I said, I said, "What, are your dentures slipping?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he'd been in a car wreck, and he'd lost his eye and all of his front teeth. And I'd known this guy I had no clue. And it's like, of course, the gals at the table, they kind of freaked out, but I thought it was.
Oh, man. I bet.
Yeah.
Well, luckily he didn't pop out his fake testicle.
I was glad of that.
That would have been a little far. So
that would have gone too far, yeah. So, anyways, so we were talking about gas stoves.
Gas stoves, and so it's starting in New York, so hopefully it stays there, but I'm worried that it's going to be a domino effect. It's going to be state by state. There's liberal states are going to say, no more gas stoves, yeah.
Well, now, do you have a gas stove in your apartment?
No, I don't. Just my furnace.
Just your furnace, yeah.
Yeah. Each apartment has its own gas furnace.
Yeah, Uncle Bill thought I'd share real quick, but no love link from Art.
I sent you a link, Bill. Yeah. So check your.
He's using his.
I'll make sure that. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I did. Let me try that again. StreamYard. Okay. Cool. There we go. Now I know what happened. I copied it from your message, and I forgot to paste it in his. So, Bill,
okay.
You're invited to come on and share some of your wisdom.
Mike, you don't send me a link no more either.
You're the missing link, Mike. You come every week. We miss you on Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else is in the news today that you want to discuss?
Well, let's see. We got Bill. He could shed the light on gas stoves.
In my gas guzzling 1600cc Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Actually, it gets like 35 miles a gallon, so it does all right.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, look familiar, Artie?
Oh, yeah. That's where it caught that big, huge turtle. No. Oh, yeah.
No, Art. That's the Jensen Beach Causeway.
Oh, okay.
Next week. This is a restaurant here called Honky Joe's. Really good seafood place. I don't know if you can hear the music, but they bought this property here next to it. They put this nice patio walkway kind of thing here.
Sweet.
And I can't because I'm not a customer. See, it's a customer. You go like that way. I could probably get in. I didn't bother. But anyway, you hear the music in the background, and they got that big patio. I think we should have a dinner here, like Sunday night.
Oh, wonderful.
That would be a good idea.
Way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And not bad. Just a little 15-minute ride from my house.
Yeah, but I know next weekend, right?
Up in serious politics, but I just felt the need to say hello.
All right. Well, thanks for popping in.
Well, enjoy your ride, Bill. Enjoy your gas guzzling ride there.
I even cleaned it. Yeah, gas guzzling. Right. Yes, that's right. And I used energy to clean it.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Good for you.
But anyway, all right, guys. I don't want to interrupt your conversation any longer. I just thought I'd stop and say howdy.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Showing up, but as you can see, not that I'm worried about it, but it's getting late now anyway, and it's pretty friggin' windy at the moment. So
right.
I don't know what I'm going to get. And besides, my wife put me on a mission. She said she wants a Whopper and fries, so I'm going to stop.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, she said junk every once in a while. But anyway, we'll see you guys. Thanks for letting me in.
Take care, Bill.
Bye-bye. Huh. And that was our man on the street, Bill Ronayne, in Port St. Lucie near Jensen Beach. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So, our next topic was what?
Trump surging in the polls. That's what I saw last. But you have some news that he
he had a rally in Texas. Yeah, he had a rally in Texas yesterday, and he started in. He was making fun of he does his typical Trumpisms and making fun of people like he does, and then he started on Ron DeSantis. And he started making fun of him like he was just crying. He was just begging for me to endorse him so he could run for governor. And the more he did it, the more the crowd seemed to turn on him. They just went dead silent.
Oh,
they were not pleased.
Mm-hmm.
And this was at his own rally. These were Trump supporters. And I think that Trump supporters are trying to let him know that, no, we're not going to bash our own. It's okay to make fun of Biden. It's okay. But they were very, and I suspect that the next polls that come out, he got a few applauses from the really hardcore Trump supporters, but, few laughs and stuff. But he kind of went, even Fox News said that the crowd felt he went too far in bashing DeSantis, making fun of him about he crying. He goes, well, Florida was doing good long before DeSantis ever became governor. DeSantis has done some good things, and I've said this, and I've written him an email and saying, here a while back, saying, it's time for you to start pulling the party together and not keeping it separated. That's why you lost. We've got to pull together and pull in the independents. And, not that he's going to listen to me, but.
Oh, that's like the GOP here in Colorado. Same thing. The party is in disarray. They elected an election denier to lead the party, and he's going on and saying, "Oh my God, the Democrats just shut down your voice to be heard on this bad anti-gun legislation." It's like, well, maybe if you put up some decent candidates and stop this infighting, maybe we could start taking back the assembly in Colorado. That's not going to happen.
I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again, that conservatives are not single-faceted. They're multifaceted types of conservatism. There are, Bill, I think it was on Matt's show Friday night, because Bill and I were both on it. And I said, he says, yeah, I was on Three Conservative Gimps with you one time. He said, I found I was more conservative than you. And he probably is in some aspects, know. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably more conservative than him in some aspects, And this is what makes, the conservative movement has, like I said, is multifaceted. And Donald Trump is not your pure conservative,
Right.
I mean, if he was, let's say, a religious conservative, we wouldn't be listening to about Stormy Daniels.
Right.
That would be a, although Jimmy Swaggart has his own Stormy Daniels stories to tell,
That's right.
And he's the last of the three cousins from Louisiana he's the last one alive, because Jerry Lee Lewis is dead.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mickey Gilley is dead. And he died. He died the year before Jerry Lee Lewis did, or a couple of years before. Mm-hmm. And that just leaves Jimmy Swaggart. And
wow.
But yeah, it's the GOP doesn't know what that means. Yeah, you're right. Eat more possum. They
yeah, that's right.
I mean, because we're such a fractured, we don't understand the GOP. All right. First off, these guys, most of them have been in office, for most of their adult life. They started, and they're professional politicians, which was never what it was meant to be.
Right.
And we've got a couple of guys here from Oklahoma that are pretty good, Jim Inhofe has left, and Mark Wayne Mullins got his seat, he was my 2nd district congressman. So, and I get emails from him, and I like what he has to say, and the new guy that took Mullins' place in the 2nd district here in Oklahoma was part of the 11 that held out and have been pretty forceful in keeping the Speaker of the House in line.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And, that's not, in some ways I look at it as a two-edged sword. Yes, Kevin McCarthy needed to be brought back into more of a middle of the
road. More
conservative. Yeah. Middle of the road conservative, one that kind of covers the just right of center to the far right of center, they're
right.
Yep. And I think they'll find that most America is like that, But there's, although it's beginning to get, we see signs where sometimes it's going far left, But I've seen here lately, I've been seeing some movement back to the right. There's hope. And if Trump can figure that out,
right,
and work with DeSantis and Abbott out of Texas, and a few, a couple of the others that that are in that forefront in that group, I think the Republicans could end up being, this could be another, we could have Reagan Democrats, except we'd have, DeSantis Trump Democrats, because the one thing that we need is somebody who is younger than Trump to pick up in 4 years, because as has been said in the chat many times, and as I've said, if either one of those, if either Trump or Biden wins, it's a lame duck presidency.
Right.
So we need to be prepared for 28. 24 is unimportant right now. I mean, it's important, but we need to be looking further ahead. And I think that's where Donald Trump may be screwing up here. He needs to be bringing guys like DeSantis in, and not that he'll hear our poor little show, but, I did post on Twitter today. Maybe he'll, maybe Don Jr. can, shake the old man's cobwebs a little bit and say, hey,
right.
But yeah, they did not take kindly to DeSantis being made fun of. And he did it in his, bombastic, loud, faking cry stuff, and calls him the fake candidate. And, it just, that is not winning friends and influencing people, Don.
Right. Yep. This is not The Apprentice. He needs to start bringing people together. And, and that's the problem we've got here in Colorado. We have this group called, it's Rocky Mountain Gun Owners, and they are the far right wing. They're the social issues, Second Amendment type.
Yeah, I got a couple friends that belong to that group.
Wackadoodle candidates, like this one guy that they helped get elected was he was an evangelical preacher that was in the military. He was in the Navy, quit the Navy, went to the Marines or something, got thrown out for being a little, wearing his uniform. Then he got elected as a state assembly guy, state rep, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he was bashing gays on his channel, and that cost him his re-election, and he got primaried out. And then he tried to run for state senate, and got beaten the primary, and we finally got rid of, what is the name of that guy? I can't remember the guy, but he was out of Colorado Springs area, which is pretty conservative, because that's where Focus on the Family is located.
Yeah. I used to say this years ago, back when, back when Gerald Ford, when Gerald Ford ran for president, and the rallying cry back then was abortion, abortion, abortion. And I thought that then putting that as a plank of your platform was a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think that because that seemed to be what they were pushing on. And okay, there are ways to deal with that, and eventually it finally came back around, and now the states are deciding it.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know why my audio isn't as loud as it should be. Hang on a second. Let me check something here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We got technical difficulties. Please stand by. Oh, by the way, are you simulcasting?
How about that?
This?
No, for some reason it didn't pop up on my. I don't know why.
Now your audio is clicky.
It's what?
Say something.
Okay.
Oh, now you sound
Test
good.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Just don't touch anything. Maybe touching that button is making everything go. So
yeah, I don't know why it was do that, but
it's back. It's doing that.
It's doing it again.
There, now you're fine. Don't touch anything.
Okay, I won't. But I had to. What you probably heard was the mouse click is probably picking up on my microphone, and I don't know why.
Okay, we got Grant missing
when I was bringing my windows. I'm having a slight breakup. Well,
yeah.
Good now. All right. Well, all right.
Yep.
I don't know what the hell's going on with it. All right, I'll leave it alone. But no, I couldn't. I wasn't able to do it for some reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Is this is a paid one, right?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And I was able to simulcast Tammy Jean's show and picked up some views from that. Oh, by the way, I just passed 125K views.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Something does sound loose. I don't know what in the hell it is. Huh. Put my reverb back a little bit.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. It may have been my reverb.
Okay. So what else is in the political sphere other than
that's
backlash?
Yeah, Trump bashing. Yeah, some backlash on that. And I was trying to think. I did read something today. What the hell was it? My mind went blank when I thought I was thinking while I was talking about Trump, I was going to talk about something else, but now I can't remember what it was. What else did you have to talk about that you wanted?
Well,
we were going to talk about the polls. The polls.
Yes, the polls, because yesterday Trump was surging in the polls, and I guess after that rally we were just talking about, he'll probably slip a bit in the polls. So,
yeah. And the polls we're talking early days. I think probably this summer is when it'll start picking up steam and going into, by fall, we should start seeing who's going to be where. And, DeSantis still has not declared himself yet,
Right. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. We've got 2 Democrat senators. They're AWOL. And that's Fetterman is one, and can you name the other?
I could have until you asked me, because I was just thinking about that.
She's from California.
Einstein?
Yep.
Einstein.
She's missing. Yeah, she's in her 90s.
Yeah, she's definitely long in the tooth. And and this is and I do not understand how people, especially with such a young electorate of people now that are voting, that would pick somebody 90 years old to keep, or in their 80s going into their 90s. Why in the hell do they keep picking these old farts?
Well, I mean, look at Michigan keeps electing Conyers and Dingell, and I think it was one of them passed away, and his wife, his third wife has taken his seat.
Well, yeah, and one of them, for one of their local assemblymen, they actually elected the dead person. He died, and they elected him. By a landslide.
Wow.
It's like, are you? And I think it was Pennsylvania. I think it was
stiff.
Yeah. You know, how bad does a Republican candidate have to be to lose to a dead person?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something wrong with people that start electing. You know, it was a sympathy vote. You know, but what the hell? That was just a waste of votes, and it's just you know, I mean, yeah, I think there was a movie about somebody that said, you know, they pulled a guy, you know, and he said off the streets to turn him into a candidate. And then he said, vote for none of the above, you know, and none of the above won. Yeah. Yeah. It was, you know, I can see that happening. There's, you know, I wonder what would happen if they did that.
Well, remember that Andy Griffith movie where he thought he was bigger than God and somebody overheard him and that spread through the crowd and they just turned on him and he just, what was it? Facing a Crowd, I think was the name of the movie.
Yeah, he
was just a hit singer and got really big and, you know, I think he was, you know, thinking about getting into politics and,
yeah, and, you know, this is, it just makes you wonder what the common person is thinking when they vote for something like that, for somebody that's been dead, or when they vote.
Either nostalgia or,
or, you know, why Dianne Feinstein, you know, I did see something today I found somewhat interesting and disturbing at the same time. You know, when you see those memes that you pass around on Facebook, and let's say it's of a Michael Jordan, you know, and some, you know, funny statement he said, or Michael Jordan cried. Did you know that apparently now, if you're white, that is considered digital blackface? But if you're black, it's okay.
Say that again.
If you pass along a meme of an African American person, one that you're well, I support that, you know, but you know, it's a funny little saying, and you pass that along, and you're white, they consider that digital blackface. But if you're black, it's okay. CNN had that report this week.
Oh, man.
Like, oh my God. See, you know, because we're misappropriating their people.
Oh boy.
We can't support something, you know, it's like, give me a break. You know, we don't have anything anymore. We as, you know, old fat white guys, we ain't got squat now. Old fat straight white guys, you know.
Wow.
And, and there's, unless you mean serve at Burger King. Oh. Yeah. What was, the ESPN did their Woman of the Year, you know, the Women's Month thing, and of course, guess who it was?
A transgender person.
The transgender person, yeah. And somebody, at least 2 or 3 of the women came out and says, you know, they're like, you know, this is a kick in the head. Yeah.
Videos about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
were
pissed.
complaining, trying to sue under Title IX or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just the fact that, you know, shame on ESPN for doing this, because, you know, why is there a woman? Why is this National Women's Month?
Well,
why?
Well, because it's Women's Day was early in March.
Yeah, Women's, right. But why? Why do we have a Women's Day?
Well, because we had Black History Month in February.
Shouldn't make any difference, because women are no longer can be.
I agree.
They can no longer even give a definition of what a woman is. So how in the hell can they have a national day about it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, and why are there women in sports? Why don't you just make one sport and everybody competes for the same position?
There you go.
You know,
how about we have a month for XY chromosome?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going to have to do too. You know, that's the way they'll have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's getting to the point that there's I mean, I'm still waiting for the straight fat old white guy month, you know, or day.
There you go.
You know, we don't even get a damn day. If you're
No.
you know, now we're no longer white. We are of European descent. But you know,
Mike
think about
he
identifies as a lesbian. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I am a lesbian stuck in a man's body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the ludicrous of these woke agendas, and I will say I see some hope. People are getting fed up with it. People are starting to protest it. Women, you know, you would think the women's lib groups would be all over this.
Yeah, you would think, but they're not.
You know,
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Why are they silent about this?
Yeah, you know.
I mean, they worked for decades to get equality, and all of a sudden, hey, a man pretending to be, or you know, thinks so he's a woman. All of a sudden, hey, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You know, these women are getting recognized, but the problem is they weren't born women. You know, that's really the ludicrousy of it. You know, okay, you want these women's months, fine, but we're going to have a man who dresses as a woman play that part. That should piss them off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would think that would just
Corporal Klinger month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, okay, if we talk using you know, rap type nomenclature or eubonics as they used to call it at one time when they were trying to come up with a proper way of saying speaking poor English, you know, well, we're misappropriating identity. You know, we do anything that's Hispanic, black, you know, anything but white or European American. Now, think about it. There's a lot of there's a lot, you know, like under the Ottoman Empire. There's a lot. They covered a lot of Europe.
Yep, they sure did. I mean,
but they're not.
Spain was
Spain. Spain was a Muslim country, but you know, does that make the people whose last name is Khan? Does that make them European American? Are European of European descent? They could very well be. You know, this whole, you know, this is the kind of ludicrousy that's coming out. It is, yeah, that's it. You know, yeah, exactly, a con job, yeah. But you know, they think it's an insult. Like I said, the report that they talked about, you know, or the digital blackface, because you forward on, if you're white, you shouldn't do it. Okay, I won't. No problem. No skin off my teeth. I don't anyways. But this is but women, that's the problem. You've got men who are misappropriating the identity of women now.
Yeah.
And that is wrong. You know, why in the hell are they not doing is, you know, and the thing is that amongst the gay society, it's only a small minority of people that are like that, you know, that are the flash in the pan, that are, you know, bling from ear to ear, you know, you know, that type of stuff. The average American or the average everyday gay person just wants to live their life, you know, and that's what they said. They want to be respected and live their life Lloyd is screaming in the Burger King parking lot. Sorry there, Bill. Yeah, I hope I don't get you. You're in Florida, so they should get along with you just fine. But I mean, the average everyday person, they wanted to be treated equal, but now they dress as if they want to be treated separately. Make up your friggin' mind.
Yep.
Just make up your damn mind. Do you want to be treated equal? Well, I don't dress like that, so I expect you to at least have...
Lloyd, it's not about equality. It is about creating division.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it's all about. Class, religion,
drag queen reading at the library,
Yep.
As I've mentioned before, I had a cousin who we lost that was gay. And I guarantee you, had one of those people come to the library and sat down at the kiddie section and started reading a book to them, he would have gone over and beat their ass.
Wow. It's just...
That was fine for in a club. They could dress up and do their thing in a club. But out in public, you show some common courtesy and respect for everybody,
That's right.
And that's what it's about. And they don't, they want it's all about promoting an agenda that is, because I'm being heard in Burger King parking lot, I'm going to be nice now because I could just about lose it here. Anyways.
So something else that's not political, since I'm involved with giving away toffee on my Saturday show, there was an explosion at a chocolate factory in Reading, Pennsylvania. 4 people were killed. So
I did catch a glimpse of that.
Yeah, so that's too bad. Sorry that happened, and I didn't find out. They never said what the cause was. It just said there was an explosion.
Yeah.
4 people did. So maybe in the next few days we'll hear about what caused that explosion. Yeah.
And that brings to mind something. Do you know who Mr. Beast is on YouTube?
Oh yes,
right?
Yes, he's the one that claimed that he cured blindness, but all he did was he donated money for surgery. Get cataract surgery, and Pete Gustin, the blind surfer, took him to task on saying that.
Yeah, his stuff, but he's and the reason I bring him up is because he's being called all sorts of names, but he has donated millions and millions of dollars for people. Yes, his stuff is silly and stupid, and I used to watch him, but it got so silly but the fact is now that he's doing that kind of stuff, it turns out the liberals are the one that are really raising hell about it now. The liberals are pissed off that he's helping these people out, and the reason the chocolate factory is because he actually built a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory set and invited, people to come along, and he did the whole Willy Wonka and chocolate. Yeah, but he also bought a car lot and put all the cars on sale from $0 to $10.
Oh, wow.
He also crushed a Lamborghini in a metal crusher.
Oh boy.
But, the fact is that the left liberals just do not want anybody to do anything nice for anybody, unless, of course, you're doing it for their cause.
Right. Yep. No more fun unless it's mandatory.
Yeah. And no more donating, unless you're donating to a liberal cause.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which there's a book I read, and it was by an author friend of mine. One of the things that was brought up was this gal she was a liberal reporter. She was with TV News, and the guy, they were both covering a particular person, and they were invited along, and she suddenly realized that, they were guests of this couple that they were following for 30 days, building up to this couple's wedding, and then they were, I had exclusive, and during part of that time, well, they got up one morning and they were fixing a big breakfast, bacon, eggs, and all that. Well, the conservative guy walks out and says, "Oh, no, you don't want that." Says, this is bad for you. This is red meat. This is food. It's fatty acid, all this stuff. It wouldn't be healthy for you. It's not a salad. So here, and he starts eating, and she says, "Wait a minute. But I like bacon, but it's not good for you. You're liberal. You've got to. Don't you have to get up every morning and check the official checklist to find out what you're pissed off about today?" Says it takes a lot of work to be a liberal because you have to come up with new ways to dislike something every day. And that's, I think, is a perfect example of the liberal agenda. They come up with, when that starts running its course, let's look for something else to be mad about. Let's look for something else to dislike.
They're like the spoiled kid that never got an ice cream cone, going up to all the kids with ice cream cones and knocking them out of their hand.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the liberal agenda right there.
Mm-hmm.
Pure selfishness and
selfishness and envy.
And envy, selfishness and envy.
And what is envy? It isn't that a sin, Mr.
Yes. That is one of the sins.
Minister
it's also one of
Lloyd, or do we call you Father Lloyd? Or
no, it's not Father. It'd be
Lloyd, or
it'd be Reverend Lloyd, but
Reverend Lloyd. Okay.
Yeah. But
kind of like Montasi. Reverend Jim.
Yeah. But no, they envy is also one of the
deadly
things that was released. One of the sprites that were released when Pandora opened the box. The only thing left in the box was this little bitty tiny thing, and it was called hope.
Oh.
But envy, is part of the seven deadly sins, the seven monsters of the mythology, as well as Christianity,
Yep, that's right.
And that's exactly. And if you've watched the movie Shazam, you would also know that too. Because if you haven't seen the DC movie Shazam, it's stupid and silly. It's stupid and silly, but it's like you got a guy that's a grown man trying to act as if his brain is that of a 12-year-old. He does a pretty good job of it. Actually, the 12-year-old does a better job than he does. Acts more mature, to be honest with you. But
right.
It's funny, but yeah, and they deal with those seven deadly sins, and that's part of it, But those are the same things that were released when Pandora opened the box. Envy being one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And sadly, that's one of the things holding back the Philippines, because they have this mentality called crab mentality. You know what that is? You put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, and one of them's trying to claw over each other to get out, and the one below them pulls them
down. Yeah, so they never get up. Yeah, they can never. They can't work together to get out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike ants, which would allow themselves to build to get out, and then start pulling them up and pass. Once the one gets to the top, then they start pulling the last one down. He comes up, and they just bring him up that way.
Right.
That's how you work as a group, and that's why ants are more successful. That's why you don't see ants in boiling pots at your local seafood restaurant.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you do crabs.
Yeah. And the other kind you don't want to catch.
The other kind you don't want, that's
yeah.
Yeah. But that's not for this show.
Well, Lloyd, we managed to hit that magic hour. So we
yes, we have.
Yep. Boy, that went fast.
It did.
I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. Bill, thank you for popping in for a few minutes. I wish I could pop in on your show tonight because I gotta work so that I could pay off for this trip because I'm gonna have a well, I'm not, because I haven't gotten enough vacation hours. One of my paychecks, I'm probably going to get a really small paycheck. So, everybody, Steve Knowles, welcome. Good to see you. Sorry you came a little late, but hopefully you've been listening to us for quite a while. Mike B, Rob, and Chris, and all the rest. Thank you for coming. Have a great week, and we will see you tomorrow on Lloyd's show.
Yep.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.